Welcome to class. Welcome to Take 5 to start the week on the right foot. We're going to begin in comfortable sitting position, whatever that might be. It could be on the feet or it could be on the sitting bones, whatever is comfortable. Centering to today's practice, getting ready with an intention, and if you haven't gotten some water for the practice, get it with you. It will absorb your intention and it will help you stay hydrated throughout the class. We're going to begin with closing the eyes and noticing how do we feel today in terms of where the breath is. Is the breath shallow or is it calm? How is it? Throughout the practice, I will be reminding about the breath, as the breath is the most effective way to get back to the present moment. As many often times we drift away with thoughts and things, scheduling what will happen after or what has happened yesterday. It doesn't matter, just for this one amount of time, whatever the class might be, usually an hour, we will center into the present moment. It will help us center for the week ahead. Let's come up with an intention for the class. And it might be an intention for the week or for the year. Repeat this intention 3 times in your head in present time. And begin scanning through the body, noticing any areas of either discomfort or maybe something that is tight. Let's place the hands on the belly, and when I inhale, move the belly forward, and exhale, belly towards the spine. We will try to breathe this way throughout the practice. If at some point the breath is restricted or it doesn't go all the way down to the bottom of the belly, that means that we're either holding a pose too long or maybe we're too deep in the pose. So back up. Anytime, get into a resting pose or grab a drink of water. Inhale, belly forward, exhale towards the spine. Inhale the hands above the head and interlace fingers, elongating from the sitting bones all the way through the length of the spine and arms. Sending the breath to the belly. Tilt towards the left, so right sitting bone is anchored, elongating the entire right side. Inhale back up and towards the left, anchoring left sitting bone. Inhale back up and move the palms towards you. Begin caving in as expanding the back of the spine, elongating through the arms. Tuck the chin towards the chest. Inhaling back up, and let's place the hands behind us. Um, the elbows are shy of lock. Each time we are putting anyone's weight into the hands and arms, we want to keep the elbows shy of lock in order to protect the joints, moving the chest towards the sky and chin towards the sky. Sending the breath all the way down to the bottom of the belly, evenly distributing the breath to the left and to the right, all the way to the bottom. And get back to neutral. Moving the hands away from the crown of the head. So in this one, think about fingers digging in for worms into the ground, into the earth, far away from the crown of the head. Breathing and expanding, arms length is as vast and expansive as possible. Left ear towards the left shoulder, and keep wiggling the fingers. Right ear towards the right shoulder. Notice differences between the sides. Once again, left ear towards the left shoulder, and begin moving the head yes and no. More towards the left. Right ear towards the right shoulder. Moving the head here as well, yes and no, creating space in the neck and shoulders, the front of the chest and arms and the back of the chest, and then begin circling around with the head, but 80% of the full circle that you can. Not 100% yet. And then change the direction. Breathe. Elongate the right arm in front of you and wrap it with the left. And then help it go towards the left. Then look towards the right. Sending the breath all the way down. Get used to belly expanding on inhale and back towards the spine on exhale. It helps free this air that's been stuck in the bottoms of the lungs, as in our daily lives we usually breathe with only the tops of the lungs. Elongating through the left arm in front of you, wrap around the right and help the left go towards the right. Look towards the left. Once again, expanding the belly on inhalation. And towards the spine on exhalation. Make a transition into feet in front of you as legs are straight, straighter. Always try to block in the knee joints even when the legs are straight. You always want to be not completely straight to protect the knees. The same thing with the arms to protect the elbows. So in this one, we will try to hinge forward towards the toes, and we have to maybe use the arms for support in order to make the spine not curved, as the spine has many muscles and they're little compared to the big leg muscles. So usually the leg muscles, they take more time to release, and also they are pulling on the spine muscles. So if anything is gonna give in, it would be the spine muscles first. So we wanna make sure we keep the spine straight and moving forward towards the toes. Begin to relax on exhalation deeper into the pose, and maybe on inhalation, back up a little bit to gain more space and more strength in the spine. And then exhale forward towards the toes. Breathe fully. I like to call this micro pulsation in the pose. So inhale, back up a little bit. Exhale more towards the toes and deeper into the stretch. Legs have peak muscles, powerhouse of muscles. So it does take a little bit more time than anything else to stretch, and they never are stretched enough. So they always need more stretching, as many poses as possible, as much time as is possible. And maybe here is a good idea to come back to your intention from the beginning of the class and repeat it 3 times in your head in present time. And when you're ready, lifting up and place the legs about 80% in between them of what they can stretch. So not a full split, but 70-80% is good. So we'll move towards squaring the entire torso towards the left foot. And we're going to begin folding towards the left foot. Stop at that area where it's screaming, that one spot, and then send the breath there. Here, probably it's a good idea to also use this micro pulsation. So inhale, slightly back up and relax the leg. And then exhale, push towards the toes into the stretch. And do this again with inhale, slightly back up, relax the leg. Exhale, get into towards the foot. Try to keep right sitting bone down on the earth as it probably wants to get up. It's normal because of all the big muscles in the legs that we're trying to stretch and they're pulling back, resisting. So give a chance to the body to respond versus react. Take your time, getting deeper and deeper on each exhale. So always when you're exiting a pose, try to elongate and expand while you're exiting versus letting yourself out. So inhale, arms above the head, strong straight spine, and towards forward. Now let's square towards the right and folding over the right foot towards the right foot. Straighter spine with the face towards the foot. Notice differences between the sides. Many oftentimes left and right are different. Don't judge, just notice. Many oftentimes right side is tighter for people that drive a lot. If you notice differences between the sides in several practices, then begin to spend a little more time on the tighter side. More breath. Like what we did on the other side, let's inhale, arms above and forward. Straight forward with the face, straight forward with the chest. And then maybe float them down and keep the spine straight as much as possible, moving forward. Here, sneaking into the pose. Moving forward with the face and maybe even place the hands behind you. Notice if you're curving the spine. If you are not, you're fine. Maybe begin lowering. Maybe the inner hamstrings are screaming by now. Send the breath where it's needed. Maybe slightly back up from the pose. Relax both legs at the same time and get back in slowly sneaking in. If you notice your curve in the spine, maybe place the hands behind you for support. We will get to the spine. Now we're just really concentrate on stretching and relaxing the backs of the legs, preparing them for the practice. Exhale more into the pose. Inhale, slightly back up, straighten the spine, engage the core. Exhale more into the pose. When you're ready, slowly inhaling yourself up, slowly sneaking out of the pose. So remember to sneak in and sneak out of the poses in order to maintain the length that you've created. And then begin to move your feet towards each other, maybe with the help of the arms, and feet together about a foot apart from you. Maybe grab a hold of the ankles and then begin helping the knees go in towards the ground. Maybe get the feet closer. See, find that sweet spot where your spine is still straight. Slowly we'll make a transition into tabletop. Slowly, gradually getting out of the pose. Take your time. Each time you're getting in or you're getting out, you want to make sure you move with the breath and you never restrict the breath. Hands and knees underneath us, knees exactly underneath the hips, and then palms of the hands underneath the shoulders. If you have anything going on in the wrists ever, you can always get into a fist instead of open palm. If your palms are open, always want to spread the fingertips and kind of dig them into the mat, into the earth, as that will protect your wrists. And also keep in mind never to lock the elbows, but instead slightly off of lock, so strong elbows. All right, so on inhale, we'll move the left foot back behind us. Engage the core here. Breathe, full breath. Each time you engage the core, watch out for the breath that is gonna wanna go to the tops of the lungs. Instead, move it to the belly while the core is engaged. Exhale, move the left knee towards the chin. Maybe tuck the chin towards it as well. You don't have to touch it, but you can with the knee. Inhale, left foot straight behind us again. And then back to tabletop with all knees on the ground. Inhale, right foot behind us, straight. Exhale, right knee towards the chin and maybe tuck the chin. Inhale again to straight right leg behind us. Back to tabletop. Tuck the toes and lift up into downward facing dog. You can use downward facing dog for a resting pose throughout the practice, or child's pose, which we're gonna get in a little bit into. So for this one, make sure you're pressing the mat away with the hands, pressing the chest towards the thighs. Tailbone is high, elongating from the tailbone to the fingertips. Relax the head and the neck. Look towards your navel. Look forward and shift into plank. Strong, straight spine, engaging the core. See if your shoulders are towards the ears, move them away from the ears. exhale, downward facing dog. Chest towards the thighs, pushing actively the mat away with the hands. Begin pedaling one heel at a time. Left heel down, inhale and exhale. Right heel down, inhale and exhale. Left heel down, inhale and exhale. Right heel down, exhale and inhale. Or the other way around. Both heels towards the mat. Inhale and exhale the full length of the legs, actively pushing the mat away with the hands. Chest towards the thighs. Look forward and place the left foot forward towards the left hand. Plant the right heel down. Engage the core and leading with the hands. Inhaling all the way up into warrior one. So for warrior one, squaring the hips forward and making sure that we're straight. So in this one, many of the times we lean a little bit forward. Instead, try to keep the arms as high as possible. Imagine you're hanging off of a tree branch. Expanding in 3 points at the same time. Both feet are strong and the fingertips away from both feet as away as possible. Straighten the front leg and fold over very slowly. Where is the breath? Bend the left knee, inhale in warrior one again. Strong arms towards the sky. Turn to the right and then keep the length of the spine as you are exhaling, arms in both directions into warrior two. So in this one, see if your arms are on the same plane or the front one is higher than the back one. Just notice where they're at. Looking behind the left fingertips. Make sure you're not leaning forward. You're completely straight. Dropping the right arm down, lifting the left up and far away from both heels, maybe slightly overhead, extending the entire left side of the torso, sending the breath down to the belly. Each time the core is engaged, remember to move the breath lower, maybe force it in even, so it goes all the way to the bottom of the belly. And inhaling, both hands up, left elbow towards the left eye. So in this one, right arm is up and high and away from the right heel, maybe even overhead. Extending through the right heel all the way to the fingertips, the right fingertips. Maybe look underneath the right arm and check how much of your weight is really on the thigh. 20% is good, 80 not so much. So check by removing the left hand, the left arm from the equation, and then maybe put it right back in. Inhaling back into warrior two, and then into warrior one, and then windmilling hands downward facing dog. Take a break. Chest towards the thighs. Both heels at this time are moving into the direction of the earth. Actively pushing the mat away with the hands. You definitely don't want to be collapsing with the shoulders, so that's why we're pushing the mat away as much as possible with the hands. Tailbone high towards the sky. Inhale into plank, elbows in towards you. Just make sure they're shy of lock. And then begin lowering, exhale all the way down. And on inhale, either cobra or the upward facing dog. Back to downward facing dog. Exhale, full breath. Look towards the hands and move the right foot towards the hands this time. Plant the left heel. Prepare yourself for warrior one on this side. Just make sure that you tighten the core first and leading with the hands. So you can have a strong straight spine lifting all the way up. Warrior one. Squaring the hips forward as much as possible. On exhale, we will straighten the front leg and fold over. Bend the right knee, inhale back into warrior one. And once more, exhale, fold over the right leg. Bend the right knee, inhaling back into warrior one. Always when you lift up, leading with the inhale, leading with the part that is the furthest away from the heart center, so that way you can always expand and elongate. And then keep the arms where they're at, open to the side. Warrior two, just first stay with the arms straight, like you're hanging off of a tree, to make sure that the entire torso is straight up versus like forward. And then arms towards the sides, right fingertips forward, left fingertips back, and notice if they're on the same plane or one is higher than the other one. Inhaling, right arm up towards the sky, left one goes down. Right elbow goes towards the right side, left arm overhead and away from the left foot. Look underneath the left arm and maybe check here how much of the weight do you put on that right thigh. Can you remove the right elbow from the right thigh? 20% is okay. Inhale back into warrior two and warrior one. And windmill the hands all the way, downward facing dog. Take a break. Place the knees on the mat and then untuck the toes, lowering yourself on the feet into child's pose, walking the hands forward. Maybe rest on your forehead. Come back to your intention from the beginning of the class and repeat it 3 times in present time. Slowly begin walking the hands towards you a little bit and then untuck the toes and move into downward facing dog. Inhaling all the way up, tailbone high towards the sky, chest towards the thighs, pushing the mat away actively. How does that downward facing dog feel? Is it somehow easier than the first several ones before that? Inhale yourself into plank and then begin shifting, rolling over towards the left side of the left foot and the left side of the right foot, preparing for side plank. And then once you are towards the right, elevating the right arm up towards the sky. Option here in this one, left knee on the mat Another option, right foot up in the air. So one is like a little bit less of a strength, the other one is more. See where you're at today, you can always modify any pose. Find yourself back into downward facing dog. And from there, make a transition into child's pose. Untuck the toes, the feet, and then sit into child's pose. Begin walking towards the right with both of the hands, elongating the entire left side. Place the left hand on the top of the right hand, and then elongating from the left sitting bones, from, from the left sitting bone all the way to the fingertips of both hands. Breathe. Walk back to regular child's pose with both of the hands away from the sitting bones in equal distance. At any time, feel free to grab a drink of water throughout the class. It doesn't have to be, I don't have to tell you. Eventually, we'll find our way into downward facing dog when we're ready. Remember to push the mat away with the hands and press the chest towards the thighs. Inhale into plank, and then we're going to begin moving towards the left. Side plank on this side like we did on the other side. So on the outer edge of the right foot, on the left edge of the left foot too. Begin lifting the left arm. Option here, right knee on the mat, or maybe elevate the left foot for extra challenge. Sending the breath all the way down. Very slowly exiting and find your way into tabletop maybe in order to get into child's pose. So in this one, this time we're gonna walk towards the left with the hands. Right sitting bone away from both of the fingertips. And when we're ready, begin walking back towards the middle and find yourself into tabletop, and from there into downward facing dog. Begin walking the feet towards the hands and maybe the hands towards the feet. Find yourself into a forward fold. Inhaling one vertebrae at a time until you find yourself standing in a mountain pose. Maybe have a couple of shoulder rolls, palms forward. Tucking the chin slightly, elongating through the neck, as the neck is a beautiful continuation of the spine. Always think as part of the spine. So begin shifting the weight into the left foot, and the right is still on the ground, but imagine 3 branches growing as your arms are lifting, and then also 3 roots. are going into the ground, elevating the right foot gradually and slowly, either below the knee or above the knee. And many often times we would lose balance, and when we do, it's very, very important to get back right back in the pose very slowly and gradually instead of slamming in the pose. You want to sneak in. See how much of the weight is collapsed to one side, and if you can be straighter, strong core, elevating the chest towards the sky, and maybe even sway the three branches from the wind. Moving the knee into direction towards the chest, and maybe hug the knee. Slowly breathe all the way down to the bottom of the belly. Maybe moving the knee towards the right. Left hand goes the opposite direction to counter the weight. Imagine a point in front of you that you're stabilizing yourself with, a drishti point of concentration. Imagine holding yourself into that point, strong and stable. Knee and hand are going towards each other, get in front of you, and then moving the right foot all the way down. Step off of the left foot and maybe get a couple of circles onto the ankle and the other direction. Give a chance to the body to respond versus react. Inhaling hands above the head and exhale all the way down, forward fold. Try to match breath with movement. So inhale into the belly all the way up. Exhale, one more forward fold. Inhaling once again all the way up. And place the arms on your two sides with the palms forward into mountain pose. Stay strong as a mountain. Slightly tucking the tailbone, chest towards the sky, shoulders back and relaxed, palms forward, face relaxed, chin slightly tucked. Begin shifting the weight into the right foot. Begin growing 3 roots with the right foot and 3 branches with the arms. And at the same time, detaching that left foot, sneaking into the pose of this side, either below the knee or above the knee, never exactly on the knee. And this side might be feeling a little bit different than the other side. Find drishti, point of concentration that you can anchor your attention to. We're not just having differences between the sides and in terms of what leg or arm is tighter or harder to stretch, but also we have differences between our balancing poses. Just notice, don't judge. It's normal. Very slowly, we're going to begin elevating the knee towards the chest. The slower the better with every pose really, but it's extremely powerful, visibly powerful, and balancing poses. As if you move too fast, then you lose balance. Moving towards the left with the left knee as the right arm counter the balance. Where is the breath? Slowly exiting the pose, getting out, and then we're gonna elongate Hands away from the heels and interlace the fingers above the head. Anchor through the right foot and move into banana shape towards the left. So long stretch on the entire right side from the right heel to the fingertips. Inhale back into all the way straight and then exhale towards the right, elongating through the left heel. Inhale back into straight forward and forward fold all the way down. Once you're in a forward fold, find your way into down facing dog by walking the hands forward and the feet backwards. Downward facing dog. Chest towards the thighs. Inhale yourself into plank. Elbows in, chaturanga lowering with control. All the way down. Inhale up dog or cobra. Exhale downward facing dog. Begin walking the feet about midway towards the hands, and then make the feet 2 times the shoulder distance apart from each other. And begin walking the hands towards you, and then fingertips are pointed backwards. So continue walking the hands underneath you and behind you. Until you can have a full breath. If the breath is restricted, you're too deep. Now actively push the palms into the ground. Breathe in between the shoulder blades. Begin walking the hands back towards you. And then once the hands are underneath you, move the toes outwards. So heels towards you, toes outwards. And then begin kind of sitting on chair like and elevating the torso with hands in prayer. Strong core here. Breathe. Inhaling hands above the head and to the two sides. So try to have the elbows like shoulder height and the palms up towards the sky. This one is kind of tough to think about having an espresso cup, but do imagine having an espresso cup. Try not to spill it in the palms. So each palm gets 1 cup. Moving forward with the hands and then towards the belly. The outer edge of the wrists are next to you closer. Thumbs are far apart. Now begin shifting into thumbs towards you as the fingers are pointed back. And then away. Away from the crown of the head. Keep the espresso cups as you're lifting all the way up with the thumbs in front of you. Then once again to that original starting point. Exhale, forward fold, straight legs. Feel free to draw the toes towards you a little bit if it's uncomfortable to keep them out. If the fingers are forward, move them back outwards and elevate back into prayer with the hands once more, moving the palms up towards the sky. Try to keep the elbows, check if they're on the same kind of plane with the shoulders. And then move the palms forward towards the belly. Then the thumbs towards the belly as the palms are going back and away from you. Lifting up all the way up and back to that first one. Exhale, forward fold with straight the legs. Don't worry about this previous one if it's confusing. It is meant to be confusing. It gets better with the practice. It took me a very long time to just process what I was doing at first. So the whole thing is to get you into this mindset that it's okay. Everything is okay. It's called Dansa Shiva. So we'll make a transition into tabletop here. And then from tabletop, we'll move the left knee towards the hands. And then left foot will begin moving towards the right. See where that sweet spot is in order to elongate the right leg behind you and move into pigeon. So for this one, it is kind of important to begin resting your hips. So it is not so much how low you can get, how fast, but it's more like how relaxed the muscles are, slowly sneaking into the pose. If you feel like extra stretch, maybe begin lowering yourself over the left knee, maybe even moving the arms forward. Where is the breath? Inhale and exhale fully. Relax the left foot, relax the left leg, the left hip. Breathe. Remember your intention from the beginning of the class and repeat it 3 times in your head in present time. Very slowly we'll begin sneaking out of the pose. Remember when we're dealing with big groups of muscles like those on the legs, it's just very important to sneak out, not slam out. You begin lifting up the right foot off of the mat, and that could be already too intense. Or maybe we can reach towards the foot with the right arm, right hand. Maybe even pull the right foot towards us. Don't overdo anything, always notice the breath, or if there's like any pain or strain, stay there and maybe take a deep breath, give it some time. You want a little more stretch if you're feeling extra confident today, maybe get that footing towards the elbow crease and maybe even reach out with the left fingertips towards the right and interlace them or not. and breathe. Very important to monitor the breath. If the breath is restricted, maybe we're too deep in a pose or maybe we're holding too long. So backing up is the mindful thing, the right thing to do for you, for where you're at today. As each day we're in different spaces when it comes to our bodies and minds. Very slowly we're going to make a transition into tabletop and move the right knee towards the hands and left foot backs up as the left leg straightens behind us, and maybe move the right ankle towards the left. Very slowly we'll get into this side. Notice differences between left and right. This is one of those poses that really exposes differences. Begin sneaking in the pose here. Maybe start lowering. You're walking the hands forward or stay where you're at if you're too tight on this side. Where is the breath? Relax the right foot and the right leg and the right hip. If the breath is restricted, maybe back up a little bit and forcing the breath towards the belly. Maybe repeat your intention 3 times on this side as well. Remember, once we start getting out of the pose, we'll very slowly sneak out. So as slow as you can, begin lifting up if we're forward. Once you are up, we will begin to detach the left foot off of the earth, lifting up. See, maybe reach out towards it with the left arm. Maybe pull the left foot towards you. And if you try this on the other side, maybe try it here, placing the foot into the left crease in between the elbow, and maybe even interlace hands and breathe. This side for me is way easier, so I'm going to back up sooner. I have noticed that in other practices as well, so it's a thing that just keeps going on. Very slowly, let's place both feet in front of us and the legs are straight. like what we did in the beginning of the practice, but this time we'll move forward as much as we can with the head, and then we will begin folding. So see if you have to do maybe like 1 foot distance between the 2 feet so you can create space for the head going in between the legs. I still like to keep my arms behind me for support. Sending the breath on the backs of the lungs. And inhale yourself back up into sitting when ready. And we're gonna find our way to our backs, hugging the knees towards the chest. So here we'll move left and right to massage the spine. Left and right. Trying to incorporate lower back as well. So maybe see if the legs need to be a little bit far away from you or more towards the chest, because the position of the legs really change in the self-massage of the spine and its areas. When you're ready, drop the knees towards the left. Elongate right arm towards the sky and go towards the right with the right arm, and then look towards it. Long breath here. The breath is restricted each time we're either using too much core or when the torso is all twisted like it is right now. So you need to force in the breath all the way down to the bottom of the belly. All the twisting poses are so good for detox, removing things that are no longer needed. And when ready, hugging the knees towards the chest. And then the knees towards the right. Hold them down with the right hand as the left one goes towards the left. So squeeze here. Look towards the left hand. Breathe. Where is the breath? Always use the breath as to tell you where you're at. Are you present? If the breath is not full, you're not present. Maybe you're too deep in a pose and you haven't noticed. Maybe you're holding too long and you haven't noticed. It's, the breath is the key of the present moment. And when you're ready, hug the knees once again. And last time, massage the spine by moving left and right with the knees. And at some point, begin moving the feet away from you with palms up towards the sky next to you, with shoulders underneath you. Sometimes the shoulders are just simply moving towards the ears, and you want to keep them away from the ears, kind of underneath you. Relax the feet to two sides, left and right. Tuck in slightly the chin to elongate the neck, and use the breath all the way from the heels to the crown of the head, relaxing the entire body. Relax the scalp and feel the little vibration and tingling of the circulation. Relax that area. Relax the forehead, the eyes, the cheeks. Relax the outside of the throat and the inside of the throat and all the glands, causing them to function correctly in a very healthy way. Continue scanning and relaxing the chest, front and inside, the belly, front and inside. Arms and fingers, relaxing the thighs, knees, calves, ankles, feet. Relax deeper, concentrate on the toes. To relax more, concentrate on the bottom of the heels. Relax the entire length, starting from the toes, going through the heels and ankles, legs length, core, chest, arms and hands and neck and throat and face and scalp. Imagine a pink ball of energy spinning around your heart center, spinning really fast, so fast that there's more like sparkles of electricity, of energy. It spins and spins. On each exhale, you're getting deeper and deeper into the relaxation. Notice any areas of your body that needs to be relaxed, that's still or not. All you need to do is just to tell them to relax and send the exhale there. Sometimes it's a thought that holds certain muscle type. Relax, exhale. Keep laying down and keep relaxing with each out breath. More and more heavier and heavier on the mat, melting into it. Scan through the body again and notice any areas that needs to be relaxed. As I'm playing some instruments for you to seal the practice and help your body heal itself, rejuvenate itself, and all your cells to function correctly. And may you be filled with joy. Keep laying down and keep relaxing. And each exhale, be heavier and more relaxed on the mat. First, I'll be playing a rose quartz ball of tuning a 432, which is a healing frequency. Listen to the sound. Repeat your intentions from the beginning of the class 3 times in your head.
This is an instrument used by shamans for healing purposes. Each sound has its own frequency. You can choose to keep laying down and relaxing, or maybe take a nap. Continue meditating, or if you choose to get out of the practice, maybe stretch overhead, kind of like when you're waking up, wiggle fingers and toes, extremities far away from heart center. And welcome to your new you. Thank you for practicing with me. I'll see you Friday. Namaste. Have a good week.